In our world, a wide variety of phenomena occur constantly, from familiar sunsets and rain to rare atmospheric events. Most of them have clear scientific explanations and obey the laws of nature. However, from time to time, events are observed whose nature remains a mystery. In this video, I invite you to watch a selection of astonishing phenomena that puzzle even scientists. Enjoy watching. During a flight from Seattle to Alaska, a passenger noticed 4 glowing objects outside the airplane window. They rapidly descended toward the Earth and then dissolved into the air, as if they had never existed. He recorded what he saw on his smartphone camera and posted the video online in hopes of learning what it was. Viewers were divided in their opinions. Some saw the mysterious lights as unidentified flying objects, while others believed the phenomenon had a natural origin. Some users also suggested a meteor explanation, cosmic bodies burning up in the atmosphere. The brief duration of the event supports this hypothesis. However, according to official information, no cosmic activity in the Earth's atmosphere was recorded on that day. On the 29th of August 2022, a man was walking his dog along one of the Californian beaches. There, he discovered that the shoreline was covered with thousands of shells. He recorded the scene on video and posted it on his social media page. Some viewers identified the shells as striped barnacles, marine crustaceans that are usually attached to rocks. The reason for the mass accumulation on the shore turned out to be simple. A powerful storm tore the colonies from their usual habitats and washed them onto the beach. In the dense forests of China's Yunnan province, a group of botany students was searching for rare and unusual plants. They managed to discover an astonishing creation of nature, a tiny plant resembling a microphone with crystal-like petals. The plant was growing from decaying leaves and had no green coloration, and therefore no chlorophyll. This meant that it did not use photosynthesis. As it turned out, the students had found Monotropa uniflora, also known as the ghost plant or Indian pipe. This perennial plant completely lacks chlorophyll, which gives it a pale, ghostly coloration ranging from white to pinkish tones. Monotropa survives through symbiosis with fungi. Via fungal hyphae, which are also connected to the roots of nearby trees, it receives the nutrients it needs. Deep in the Amazon rainforests, loggers encountered a phenomenon that seemed like magic. When they cut into a tree trunk, a powerful stream of water burst out, as if a hidden water pipeline were inside the tree. After several minutes, the fountain dried up, but the workers managed to capture the phenomenon on camera. Experts explain that there are water-storing trees on our planet that have adapted to seasonal droughts. For example, baobabs or certain species of fig trees can accumulate water in hollow trunks or thickened roots. In the Amazon, a similar strategy is found among trees growing in areas with uneven moisture levels. The water stored in the trunks serves as a reserve during periods of low rainfall. While heading out into the open ocean, a fisherman witnessed a strange incident. He noticed military jet aircraft in the sky, and then 2 disc-shaped objects appeared above the water. At first, they hovered motionless in the air and then suddenly plunged beneath the surface. The fisherman managed to capture this very moment on camera. According to the eyewitness, the military aircraft attempted to pursue the unidentified objects, but they disappeared into the ocean depths before the jets could approach. The fisherman published the video online and even sent it to the leadership of the United States Air Force in hopes of receiving an explanation. However, no response ever followed. While exploring the desert in Saudi Arabia, a traveler discovered an unusual phenomenon: untouched snow hidden beneath a layer of sand. Local residents explained how snow could appear under the sand. According to them, this happens extremely rarely, usually when a sandstorm follows a snowfall. Strong winds carry dry sand masses from arid regions and pile them on top of the snow cover. As a result, a natural thermal layer is formed. The sand insulates the snow from warm air, slowing down the melting process. On the 19th of October 2025, photographer Nicolas Esquira captured a rare atmospheric phenomenon above the Château de Baynac in the French Dordogne Valley: red sprites. These short-lived flashes, resembling glowing jellyfish, occur at altitudes of 50 to 90 kilometers above thunderstorm clouds. Science explains the appearance of red sprites as follows. Powerful positive lightning discharges create intense electric fields that excite molecules of atmospheric nitrogen and oxygen, causing them to emit light in the red-orange spectrum. Unlike ordinary lightning, sprites do not heat the air to high temperatures, and their unusual shape is due to the way electrical impulses propagate through the ionosphere. This phenomenon not only occurs very rarely, but is also invisible to the naked eye. Red sprites can be observed only with the help of specialized optical equipment. Recently, a video appeared online showing an unusual glowing object. It appeared above the Al Masjid and Nabawi Mosque in Saudi Arabia and slowly descended. This caused concern among pilgrims, but then the object suddenly disappeared. Initially, the incident gave rise to rumors of the supernatural, but later local authorities explained that the phenomenon was the result of a missile interception carried out by Saudi Arabia's air defense system after a missile had been launched toward Israel. On the 2nd of June 2025, a resident of Florida recorded a mysterious spherical object hovering in the sky. It resembled a second sun, even though the real sun had already set below the horizon. This contradiction became the main mystery of the phenomenon. Scientists propose several explanations for its nature. However, the most likely one is a halo, an optical phenomenon caused by the refraction of light in atmospheric ice crystals. A halo can create false suns, especially under conditions of high humidity. This unusual video was shared online by a resident of the city of Miami. He managed to capture a striking celestial phenomenon, a double sunset. The footage shows the sky seemingly divided into two contrasting halves, one blazing with rich orange and golden hues, while the other is immersed in twilight shades of gray and violet. The scientific mechanism behind the phenomenon lies in the principles of atmospheric optics. When the sun descends toward the horizon, its rays pass through cloud layers at different altitudes. A large cloud positioned below the horizon line casts an extended shadow that blocks sunlight from reaching lower cloud layers. As a result, one part of the sky remains illuminated by sunset rays, while the other is left in shadow, displaying natural twilight tones. This combination creates the visual illusion of the sky being split into two contrasting zones. Early in the morning on the 22nd of May 2025, residents of the Del Mar area in San Diego heard a sharp roar followed by a loud impact. Stepping outside, they saw smoke, damaged cars and buildings, as well as aircraft debris. It turned out that the cause of the incident was a private plane crashing into a residential area, damaging vehicles and 15 houses. According to the National Transportation Safety Board, the light aircraft, a Cessna model, was performing a local flight when it suddenly lost altitude. Preliminary data point to a possible technical malfunction of the engine or a failure in the control system. Another factor that may have contributed to the tragedy was dense fog. Fortunately, the crash did not claim the lives of the residents of the damaged homes. However, 2 people on board the aircraft were killed instantly. Residents of a suburb of Philadelphia noticed an unusual cloud in the sky that was completely different from ordinary ones. Its movements were unlike those of the clouds drifting nearby, but the most interesting part was that lights flickered inside the misty mass. One of the witnesses recorded the phenomenon and posted the video online. After that, users tried to explain its nature. Most of them decided that it was merely a plastic bag carried by the wind, but the witnesses disagreed. They believe it could have been an aircraft disguised as a cloud, citing the presence of mysterious lights within it. August 2025 was remembered by residents of the Kenyan city of Mombasa for an unusual discovery. Near the shoreline, they found a giant black cylinder with tires attached to its surface. One of the eyewitnesses recorded the object on camera and posted the video on social media. Thanks to the publication, it was determined that the mysterious cylinder was actually a marine bumper known as a Yokohama fender, an inflatable structure used to protect ships during docking. Such devices sometimes break loose during storms and can travel hundreds of kilometers before ending up on land. On the 8th of June 2024, owners of expensive cars in the Chinese city of Jiangsu were confronted with a shocking sight. The paint on their vehicles' bodies had blistered, sometimes forming giant bubbles. Hundreds of cars parked outdoors turned into objects of surrealistic art. As scientists explain, this incident was caused by two key factors. The first was anomalous heat, which caused thermal expansion of materials and disrupted the integrity of the coating. The second factor was a defect in the paint application technology, which manifested itself under intense ultraviolet radiation. An unusual incident occurred at one of the bird farms, resembling a scene from a mystical film. The owner, as usual, came to feed the birds, and in the first moments nothing unusual happened. The birds were simply running around the enclosure. However, suddenly, they all froze completely synchronously in motionless poses, as if turned to stone. Everything that happened was captured on camera, and the woman published the video on her social media page. Later, experts explained the strange behavior of the birds as a mechanism of cataplexy, an innate reaction to danger. In the wild, such playing dead helps animals avoid predator attacks, but what triggered cataplexy in domestic birds remains unknown. On the 20th of December 2021, a resident of a small town in Nova Scotia shared a video online that she had filmed inside her home. While getting ready for work, she heard rain falling outside the window, which seemed strange because there was snow in the backyard. The woman turned on the camera to verify what was happening. The footage clearly shows rain falling on one side of the house and snow on the other, as if the house were located in two seasons at the same time. After publication, the video became the subject of intense discussion. Skeptics accused the woman of editing the footage, while supporters of unusual theories saw something supernatural in it. Meteorologists confirmed that such situations can sometimes occur due to temperature differences, but they admitted that hearing about this phenomenon occurring within a single house was unprecedented. In the Gulf of Mannar, Indian fishermen caught an oarfish. This fish, which usually hides in the depths of the ocean, amazed them with its size and bizarre shape, resembling a long ribbon. In folklore, the oarfish has long been nicknamed the Doomsday Fish, since according to the beliefs of various cultures, its appearance near the surface is considered an ominous sign of impending disasters. Although some people tell real stories of tsunamis and earthquakes following sightings of oarfish, scientists consider these cases to be coincidences. They explain that these fish most often rise to the surface due to deteriorating physical condition or the influence of ocean currents. In the dark waters of the Atlantic Ocean, a marine biologist encountered a true natural wonder, a crystal jellyfish emitting pink, red, blue, and green light, like a disco ball in the bottomless abyss. This spectacle may seem like fantasy, but in reality it has a scientific explanation. The bioluminescence of the jellyfish is the result of a chemical reaction between luciferin and oxygen, catalyzed by the enzyme luciferase. This glow serves several purposes at once. It scares off predators with sudden flashes, attracts prey with shimmering light, and allows communication with others of the same species in the deep sea darkness. A surveillance camera in Western Australia recorded a frightening phenomenon. Suddenly, a brown haze descended over the surrounding area, and particles resembling dirty snow began falling from the sky. Specialists collected the precipitation, and when the samples were analysed, the results were alarming. Dangerous chemical compounds threatening human health were found. Experts link this phenomenon to a combination of factors: increased air pollution and changes in atmospheric circulation due to global warming. These processes transport harmful substances to new regions, creating anomalous forms of precipitation. A tourist traveling along the banks of the Shalmala River in the Indian state of Karnataka discovered astonishing stones. Each one was unique and seemed to depict some kind of creature. It turned out that these were lingams, sacred stones dedicated to the god Shiva. They were created during the reign of Sadashiva Raya at the end of the 17th century and still retain their sacred significance today. Each lingam is not merely a stone block, but a symbol of divine energy and a monument of Vijayanagara-era art. The site known as Sahasralinga contains about 1,000 such artifacts. Here, stone becomes a bridge between the past and the present, reminding us that culture can endure for centuries, preserving art and beliefs across generations. On a July day, after returning from a week-long business trip, a resident of Houston discovered unexpected guests in her kitchen. Chicks wandering freely wherever they pleased. All windows and doors were locked, and the woman could not understand where the birds had come from. Eventually, she realized that she had left a carton of eggs on the windowsill under the scorching sun. Anomalous heat created ideal conditions for incubation. Although the case seems cute and intriguing, most users consider the video to be fake, since if the eggs had come from a store, they could not have contained embryos. This is because only laying hens live on commercial farms, without roosters, and the eggs remain unfertilized. Late at night off the coast of Florida, Marine Patrol officers encountered an unexplained phenomenon. Mysterious glowing objects shimmered within the water, resembling underwater fireflies. The water around them glowed with a bright green light that was impossible to miss. Upon approaching, the patrol officers were unable to determine the nature of the phenomenon. Scientists propose several hypotheses. It may have been bioluminescence from clusters of plankton or deep-sea fish reacting to the movement of vessels. It is also possible that the glow was caused by chemical substances entering the water from human-related sources. However, no definitive explanation for this phenomenon has yet emerged. On a clear day, residents of the Texas city of Lubbock witnessed a mysterious phenomenon. Distinct white letters made of dots appeared in the blue sky, forming the phrase, "Find the Truth." They hung in the air as if written by a gigantic invisible pen, and then vanished without a trace after a few minutes. Eyewitness opinions were divided. Some saw the event as an advertising stunt or a prank, while others felt that the message carried a divine sign. Unfortunately, the mystery of whether this was a natural anomaly or a carefully planned installation remains unsolved. During a safari across desert dunes near Dubai, a group of travelers noticed a thick, oily river. As they approached, they sensed a sharp smell of crude oil, which flowed like a living stream through the arid sands. Geologists explain such oil seepages as the result of tectonic processes, but these leaks carry a dual meaning. For the region's economy, such a discovery can become a true gift, opening new sources of income. However, for the desert ecosystem, it poses a potential threat as oil contaminates the soil, disrupts the water balance, and has a destructive impact on plants and animals. On an overcast day above Palestine, residents of several settlements witnessed an unusual phenomenon. An object resembling a cloud ring appeared in the sky above the clouds. It moved very slowly, and remained visible until it eventually disappeared from sight. Eyewitnesses believe the object may have had a mystical or extraterrestrial nature. However, meteorologists explain that such unusually shaped cloud structures, although rare, do occur. They form through the interaction of air currents with different temperatures and humidity levels. A vivid example of such an atmospheric phenomenon is lenticular clouds, which form on the crests of atmospheric waves, creating the effect of flying saucers. In this case, the circular shape may have appeared due to vortex air movements forming ring-like currents. The morning calm of an elderly couple from the Australian city of Ipswich was disrupted by a call from a neighbour. He reported that a huge hole filled with water had formed in their backyard. Stepping outside, the homeowners saw the collapse gradually expanding, as if the ground were consuming itself. But what caused this hole to appear? Geologists explain that such sinkholes occur quite often and arise for several reasons. Most commonly, they are caused by karst processes. Underground water softens water-soluble rocks, forming cavities that eventually collapse. Ground subsidence can also occur due to the washing out of sandy layers or the deterioration of old engineering structures. At the Californian ski resort of Alta Sierra, 2 skiers witnessed a paradoxical sight. They noticed tongues of weak flame breaking through the snow cover. Attempts to extinguish the fire by throwing snow on it proved useless. The flames continued to burn regardless. The skiers reported their discovery to the hotel staff, after which specialists arrived at the site. They found that beneath the snow lay a natural gas deposit. Gas seeped through cracks in the soil, and a sluice spark triggered the ignition. Although this case is rare, such eternal flames do occur in nature. This video was shared online by a married couple living on Japan's Noto Peninsula. Before their eyes, the paving tiles on a sidewalk began to slowly rise and fall, as if the ground were taking breaths or someone were trying to break through from beneath the surface. The couple observed this phenomenon from their car for about 2 minutes, after which the tiles stopped moving and returned to their original position. Viewers who watched the footage were deeply surprised and tried to find an explanation. Some suggested it could have been an earthquake or the effect of water accumulation beneath the pavement, but in such cases, the tiles should have been damaged, while here they remained intact. On the 16th of February 2025, residents of several cities in China witnessed the appearance of mysterious glowing spheres in the night sky. They resembled fireworks, but there were no flashes or explosions beforehand. The objects appeared suddenly and slowly descended toward the Earth's surface. The uncertainty of the phenomenon frightened eyewitnesses. Some people ran away in panic, while others filmed what was happening on their smartphones. Some viewers suggested that these might have been fragments of a cosmic body exploding in the atmosphere, but astronomers dismissed this version. Unfortunately, no official explanation of the event was ever given. Friends relaxing on the outskirts of the Mexican city of Puebla de Zaragoza noticed an unusual property of a small patch of land in a field. The ground there was not solid as usual. It sprang under their feet, as if there were a trampoline hidden beneath the grass. Intrigued, the friends recorded a video and posted it on social media. They were curious to learn more about the phenomenon. Most commenters agreed that the effect was caused by water accumulation beneath the soil. This often happens after heavy rains on lawns or in areas with disrupted drainage. Although it looks unusual, this phenomenon is actually quite common. This video was shared online by a resident of China's Zhejiang province. Many viewers thought the footage had been created by artificial intelligence, but that was not the case. The video shows the astonishing Qiantang River. On this river, one can observe a striking natural phenomenon known as the Dragon's Eye waves. During high tide, when powerful seawater collides with the river's current, wave crests form that remarkably resemble the scaly eyes of a mythical dragon. This spectacle is especially impressive during the autumn equinox and full moons. At these times, the waves reach heights of 8 to 10 meters and move at speeds of up to 40 kilometers per hour. The phenomenon is accompanied by a loud sound resembling a roar. Local legends associate this event with water deities and a dragon living in the river, but the scientific explanation lies in the gravitational interaction between the Earth, the Moon, and the Sun. Every year, the phenomenon attracts thousands of tourists eager to witness this natural show with their own eyes. The author of this video, while driving through a Siberian forest, accidentally captured a phenomenon that still has no explanation. His camera recorded a spherical object descending from the sky and landing among the trees. The sphere then began to glow with a soft light, shimmering with pink, orange, and grey hues. When the man got out of the car and decided to approach the object, the phenomenon disappeared. After the video was published on social media, many theories emerged about what had been observed, from a natural phenomenon to a UFO. However, none of the versions has been confirmed. On an ordinary day, farmers in the South Korean village of Jingo interrupted their work in the fields. Their attention was drawn to an unusual phenomenon. Suddenly, instead of one sun, 2 additional suns appeared in the sky, forming a clear triangle. Several farmers recorded the event on their smartphones. These videos became proof that the phenomenon was real and not a mass hallucination. Later, scientists explained that this could have been a rare type of halo, an optical illusion caused by the refraction of sunlight and ice crystals in the upper layers of the atmosphere. In September 2020, residents of the Chinese city of Jinan witnessed a fantastic sight. Before their eyes, a giant mirage materialized in the sky, resembling a medieval castle. It seemed as if the sky had opened a portal to another world, revealing the outlines of towers and walls. Videos of this phenomenon quickly spread across the internet, sparking heated discussions. Some believed that a heavenly paradise city had appeared before the people, while others joked that the castle looked like Hogwarts from Harry Potter. Scientists explained that the structure was an optical illusion created by atmospheric refraction. Either way, the phenomenon looked truly impressive. In 2018, residents of Kenya's capital, Nairobi, were shocked by an event that occurred not far from the city. After a powerful underground tremor, a crack formed in the ground with a depth of 15 meters and a width of 20 meters. Scientists determined that the cause was prolonged, heavy rainfall. The water washed away porous volcanic soil formed thousands of years ago, causing the ground to rupture. Geologists warn that such incidents are extremely dangerous and may indicate a tectonic fault within the East African Rift system. According to their predictions, in millions of years, the continent may split into several parts. Early in the morning, a photographer set out into the mountains to capture the sunrise over the Andes, but instead, he witnessed a fantastic phenomenon. A bright light flashed behind a mountain peak, and then a glowing object formed in that spot. It resembled a tornado, yet the upper part of the anomaly shimmered with many different colors. It did not look like any known natural phenomenon or any terrestrial aircraft. The photographer recorded the anomaly and posted the video online. Experts suggest that it could have been a rare aurora caused by a surge in solar activity at these latitudes. However, most viewers, like the eyewitness himself, disagree with this opinion and believe that the phenomenon had an extraterrestrial origin. A surveillance camera installed on one of the cornfields in the state of Illinois captured a mysterious incident. The footage shows that, for no apparent reason, the plants in the center of the field gently bent down, forming a perfect circle with an empty center. The farmer who discovered the anomaly in the morning reviewed the recordings and immediately noticed that there was no one on the field at that time. In addition, he found no traces of people or vehicles near the site of the event. Other local farmers linked what happened to aliens, but scientists suggest that the circle could have formed as a result of vortex air currents or underground gas emissions that weakened the stalks. However, the perfectly regular shape of the anomaly remains a mystery in such cases. In 2023, a resident of the Brazilian city of Salvador was filming unusual storm clouds. At that moment, a low rumbling sound echoed in the sky, and it was definitely not thunder. The witness was frightened by the noise and even compared it to a growl from the underworld. After the video was published, comments appeared beneath it from other city residents who confirmed that they had also heard the strange sound. However, even more intriguing were messages from residents of the state of New Jersey. According to them, on the same day, car radios stopped working, and instead of broadcasts, they heard a similar noise. But how is this possible if the distance between the points where the sound anomaly was observed exceeds 3,000 kilometers? Unfortunately, this remains a mystery. In 2020, the island of Hailuoto in Finland became the site of an astonishing natural wonder. Thousands of perfectly round ice balls appeared in the coastal waters. It looked as if someone had been making snowballs for several days and then scattered them across the water. After one of the local residents published a video of the phenomenon online, users became very curious about its nature. Later, experts explained that such spheres form under a combination of specific conditions. For this process to occur, the air temperature must be below zero and strong winds must be blowing. Each small ice crystal or clump of snow gradually becomes a core onto which ice freezes layer by layer. Constant rotation in the waves smooths the snowballs, giving them an almost perfect spherical shape. In January 2019, residents of China's Liaoning province noticed an ice circle on the Liao River. It not only had a perfect shape, but also rotated slowly, as if something beneath the water were constantly setting it in motion. People watched the phenomenon for a long time, and several brave individuals even decided to test the ice's strength and climbed onto it. The ice island easily supported the weight of 10 people, indicating its solidity. Scientists explain that such disks form in areas with slow currents and sharp temperature fluctuations. The movement of the circular ice flows is caused by underwater vortex currents that make them rotate slowly. This phenomenon is rare, so the witnesses were truly lucky to see it with their own eyes. This creepy video was shared online by a resident of the Russian city of Sochi. Early in the morning, she woke up to find that one of the rooms in her house was covered with a living carpet of insects. Not only did the sight look repulsive, but the insects also emitted a very unpleasant odor. At first, she tried to deal with the insects on her own, but the use of repellents only intensified the terrible smell, so she sought help from pest control services. Experts who watched the video suggested that the woman's house may have been attacked by shield bugs, which are known for releasing pheromones when stressed. Such mass migrations occur during sudden warming or the destruction of their natural habitat. Before setting off on a short trip, a group of friends noticed a small bird sitting on the roof of their car. It was making strange sounds, resembling a mix of bird trills and human speech. Moreover, it seemed as if the bird was trying to prevent them from getting into the car and was warning them about something. The friends watched the bird's behavior for a long time and filmed it, but eventually they still got into the car and drove away. Surprisingly, several hours later, while they were having lunch at a cafe near a gas station, they were robbed. It was then that the young people decided the bird might really have been warning them of danger.
I swear to God. Listen. Oh.
And that brings me to the end. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like it, subscribe to the channel, and click the notification bell. Your activity is the greatest reward for me. Thank you for watching. See you soon. Bye.